back with another video about the ID we finally got after months, if not years of waiting. We finally got Ricardo Heathcliff. We all knew he was gonna be the Big Brother. Unfortunately, earlier today, I had a very sad incident. I realized I recorded the whole video, but I forgot to put the mic down, so the audio was terrible. So I'm gonna redo it, but I kind of know his kit, so I'm just gonna go a lot faster. Um, I forgot what I said in my first take, but yeah. Um, he might be good for solo. At first glance, he doesn't look good for solo because payback is a counter, but we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, for his Wrath skill 1, which I'm surprised they didn't just make this Envy in this Wrath, but after going over it, it's fine. I think this will be 3-3, because if we look at this, it's Burn and Bleed, gain coin power, so he might just gain 1 coin power automatically. 1 coin power very easily depending on how much he needs, and so that automatically brings up to a 13, and from this, there's no cap. There probably will be a cap, but yeah, coin power is very good, especially for a 3 coin skill 1. Amazing. 3 coin skill 1s are amazing, like Ringy Song. We don't talk about Spice Bush though. Anyways, a major part of what he wants to do. I want to highlight aggro. All of his skills gain aggro. No idea how much aggro he is going. Oh, not all his skills. His non-skill threes gain aggro, and I believe that should be an important part of his kit because then it gives him more chances to use his counter. This tells me that he probably won't be too fast though, so might have to watch out for that. One interesting thing is this like lower user stagger threshold. That makes me think he's going to have multiple stagger thresholds or only one. So I'm thinking 3 or 1, nowhere in between. Because Ricardo actually has what, 4, so 3 doesn't seem so far off, and that's like a way of countering that. Target's Avenger Munch, heal SP. Yep. As you can see, this is his bleed and burn infliction. It might not actually be too high because his main gimmick is Envy Res. Skip ahead if you want. I can explain Envy Res real quick to people not entirely sure. Envy Res is mainly a thing served for the middle IDs like Don Quixote, Sinclair, Merceau, Kira Ishmael. There's another middle ID, right? I'm not tripping. I just don't remember it. And for this guy, I would have the Envy Res too, and then once we eventually get Matthias Otis, that will help as well, and then we almost have a full middle team. Yeah, we have basically a full middle team. I just don't remember if there's another ID or not. Okay, let's go to a skill 2. Oh yeah, the middle ID mainly focuses on bleed, but there's also some burn with like Heathcliff here and Ishmael. Okay, if X has burn or bleed, gain coin power. Again, it's 3 coins, so that's good, but it's a skill 2, so it's different. Now, this is the interesting part. Apply offense level up to allies adjacent to this unit on dashboard. So, if I were to explain the gimmick quickly, Envy Res, basically, you line up skills that are Envy, obviously this is Envy, but sometimes you can use defenses or counters. Now, what the counter does, it will give an empowered version of the skill 3 or other skills in the kit. So, especially, I remember Don Quixote and Sinclair can get easily immersed, so not so much. But for Don Quixote and Sinclair, assuming that Heathcliff was between the middle of them on the dashboard, he could use his skill 2, and then they use their counter skills. And if it's enough Envy Resin, they gain their enhanced skills. And then that adds offense level up, making it even more deadly to them. Deadly, like more damage, all of that fun stuff. And yeah, this also supports this. This skill gains highest level resin offense level, so that's a good way to use him. Or if you're just soloing or chaining his own skills, it helps to have it in the middle of a bunch of the counters. Okay, then we have Vengeance Marks, gain final power, such as self-explanatory, like aggro. And then we got Count, so he actually might be good for the team. Bleed, Paralyze, Burn. Paralyze is also a good effect that the middle team inflicts. It just helps clashing overall. And then gain final power, Burn, Bleed. Again, it's not, well, this time it's not coin power because it's only one coin. For every Envy Resin, this is like, if you don't want to use your counter right now, you can always just use your skill 3, get it out of the way. Gains highest offense level, yep, like this is when you save up the skill to chain the Envies. Then if the main target is Vengeance Mark, gain final power. It's just, since it's only one coin, it can't really do too much damage like a multiple coin skill, so it's gotta build up a lot of the gaining final power from its effects, and then it does a lot of damage. And then we have X plus Infinity, Envy, gain attack weight, yep, and then excess attack weight. Yeah, this is deal more damage based on excess attack weight beyond the number of actual targets. Then here's another one of his gimmicks, Book of Vengeance Heathcliff, special to him. Basically Vengeance Mark, if, is it explained here? No, it is not explained here. Basically, Vengeance Mark, stuff middle IDs can afflict. You can do more damage and more, higher clashing, obviously, from the final power stuff. And then from this skill, you can gain Vengeance Tattoo based on the number of enemies killed using the skill. So this might be a finisher, and I'm assuming it's probably going to gain a lot of attack weight then. Then this is an Unbreakable, so that's good. This is the real kicker in this move. Deal Envy Resin times X% of the skill's damage. Final damage is blunt bonus damage. That could be really good. A lot of the new IDs this season, Merceau, Ryoshu, and Index Dawn, I believe, have extra skill damage based on like, if it matches Gloom or if it matches like Burn. But this is just straight up deal extra blunt bonus damage. So that could be good to building up its damage power, and it could be up to like 70% if this is 10, because you have 7 Envy skills lined up. This is a skill 3-2. What tells me it's going to be really good? External effects cannot trigger this skill to be reused. You know it's got to be pretty good, especially with like mirror dungeons with like Rusty Commemorative Coin, which is key to the playing field. This tells me it's going to be pretty good. Deal more damage for every X% missing HP on self. That has to do with the counter. We'll get more on that later, but you could always use it. Further on. Wait. Yeah. No. This is a skill 3-2. We'll get to his activation later. Deal more damage for every X missing HP on self. Gain final power. Gains offense level due to resin. Again, his main kit, just a bunch of resin. Vengeance Marks. Book of Heathcliff, gain attack weight. Deal more damage based on excess attack weight for every enemy killed using the skill. Gain. Okay, this is important for Envy Res teams because usually, beyond like Wrath, Envy, Lust, I think there's some Gluttony in there. You don't really gain too many resources. So this makes using egos more viable, especially if you want to use like an Envy ego to keep up the resonance, but also still do a bunch of damage. That works as well. And consume Vengeance Tattoos on self, and that says that this is going to be like a finisher move. When you actually are ready to set up all your counters and combos, it turns into complete and total extermination. This is an interesting one because it triggers Tremor, it inflicts Tremor, then triggers Tremor Burst. I don't remember if Ricardo had Tremor Burst. Oh, well, no, he definitely did, but, actually, he probably did. But, this is certainly interesting. We don't really have a lot of Tremor stuff with middle IDs, so this is nice to have. Bleed, Burn. If the target is staggered, deal more damage, and then that could actually kill. Yep, that would kill if they're staggered, so this is mainly used for, I'm thinking, not focused encounters. but for chain battles. But it's also good for focus encounters due to the deal more damage. And then there's that blunt bonus damage again, which could be really broken if used properly. Okay, now here's one of the center parts of his kit. Payback his counter. What happens is that if you have enough envy resin, instead of using the counter, you can use his skill 3 as counter. And that has that built-in envy resin, so that makes it even stronger with that final power. And then you can heal for the middle faction IDs, so ideally you want enough middle IDs around him so that you get the full potential for the SP heal. He's almost like Ricardo, he's almost lifting up them. And then this makes him good in solos, probably. Gain X% of mission HP as shield. So, instead of a counter, usually you leave yourself open. Heathcliff here, I always called him Ricardo. I always called him Ricardo. But, he gains at his shield, so say he's almost getting low, almost to his, say, less than 50% left. Then he's gaining a significant amount back as shield and will not get injured from heavy attacks. The only thing I'm concerned about is for mirror dungeons, though. So, you know. Then you inflict burn, inflict bleed, just like with the rest of his kit. And then sometimes it can affect hair coupons, which is his skill 3. Okay, let's read his passive page. I mean, just his passives. We like one-page skills. One-page kits. This is very nice. When this unit or any of the middle faction is hit by enemy, inflict vendetta mark. I think this is supposed to be the same thing. It's just a translation thing. That is my assumption. Book of Vengeance. Gain Book of Vengeance. Heathcliff makes him stronger. Gives him offense level and defense level. And then, ally death, he also gains. I'm assuming this is going to be greater than this on the ally death, because then he really wants to get revenge. And then he can gain vengeance tattoo from his skill 3. So if you use his counter enough, he will gain a lot of vengeance tattoo. And then, what does it do? Yeah, it does more damage based on stack. And eventually you use all that built up stuff, and then once you have enough vengeance tattoo, you can use complete and total extermination. I'm assuming complete and total extermination might do a lot of damage from the amount of stuff. I think it might be more than like Contempt Ozryoshu skill 3 too. So I'm very happy with how this is looking so far, considering that you also have to build up like charge of some sort. It's not really charge, but it kind of is. Yeah, and then it comes into special. Yeah, it activates so you cannot lose it. And oh yeah, let's just this is the funniest part of this entire kit. Change battle music until turn end. Oh yeah, we're gonna be hitting the middle stereo during just a chain battle or just while excluding certain encounters. I think this is mainly songs, but it's like Gebera for Library of Verona, just overriding Yalan's theme. If that ever happened to y'all, it's really funny. Oh, whoa, do not do that. Combat start. This unit substituted. Return to field. Use my hair. Oh, it uses it automatically if it comes in. Whoa, that's nice. And then it applies offense level up and defense level. So, what if you actually substituted him as 8 and then let 1 die, and then let him in and uses my hair coupons immediately? There's potential there. Okay, then his passives. This is one built-in. Middle faction IDs that have equipped defense take less damage from unopposed attacks this turn. Oh, so he's very good support. He's probably going to be core to the middle team for like SP, less damage, more damage, attack weight. Very solid ID overall. Gain at envy resin. Middle faction ID is adjacent to the skill. Cannot be staggered as long as they have usable counter skills equipped in their slots, so they cannot get staggered when he has it. That's really nice. Yep, this applies to all middle. I'm thinking this is like 4. 4 sounds like a good number. Thinking this is 7 once you have full envy res. This is his passive. This is what requires Eagle. I'm assuming it's going to be an NV res passive because that's just how it is. Use kicking on said enemy as an unopposed what? As an unopposed attack at the end of. We're getting so many unopposed attack stuff, but this is really nice because it's just free damage for nothing. Yeah, and if they fail their clash, Heathcliff comes in and kicks them with the 3 coins of doom. And then we have, here's, if any of the middle fight are killed during combat has a turn, all gain attack power up for this turn next turn. What if you let one of the middle IDs die and then substitute for Heathcliff? Because then he gets this, he gets Book of Vengeance, and he gets attack power up and offense level up. So yeah, that's his whole kit. Basically, put him in an NVRS team with middle IDs, possibly have him substitute in halfway through to get more skills. I think the main way we want to use him is that you use kicking to start building up use these two to build up clash power, and eventually you can use his skill 3, we'll stop doing that, or you could use his counter, which then uses his skill 3, and then that builds up Vengeance Tattoo. And you might use this when you can get like a smaller resin, but once you get the big resin, 7 resin, you can use this and you'll gain complete and total extermination, which is a really good skill. So as long as you save up your resins and count what you have on you compared to your Vengeance Tattoo, there's so many different things you could do with Tattoo. Alright, let's move on to the Ego. Yeah, this is the Rodion Ego. I don't really know much to say about this except this is a really good healing Ego. So if you ever in need for another healing good Ego, just use this. It's important to have Lust, and you can also apply so Y Clash Power for Burn and Bleed. Oh, that's interesting. It's a Burn Bleed. That's fun. Current Inflect, Wrath Fragility, and Lust Fragility. This might actually be good on the Ring team if we think about it, because the Ring IDs could use some health. Well, not really. But if you have Wrath Fragility and Lust Fragility, specifically Lust Fragility, and you have Bleed, this could be really good on the new Ring Rodion. And then it has just really good healing, just for no reason. And then the passive is a Wrath or less skill deal X damage. With that skill, it just does more damage according to another one. Basically, if you use it, it does more damage to an enemy with that attack sin. The above effect, gain affinity damage up. Ooh. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, basically just gain more affinity damage up for that affinity. Again, good with Rodion, the Ring Rodion. And the targets randomly, so no loose wall up weirdness. Deal more damage for every X bleed and burn. Deal additional damage. Lose base power for every cracked coin. That's good. Apply Scarlet Moth between enemies. Okay, so they heal even though it corrodes, so it's not terrible. And I guess this is good for bleed and burn count, maybe. And then Lust Fragility. So I guess overall the Ego is healing, Lust Fragility, Lust, and Wrath for fragility, some bleed and burn. Alright, that is the review of this thing for the Intervallo. Happy pulling. Oh, the mic was up. No, I'm just kidding. It was down. This is fine. Everything is fine.